everyone who is in this meeting will get a full recording of this meeting, and only for public will be available only some highlights we will edit and publish just to reuse, and maybe it will be also useful for you. Okay, so let me start sharing my screen. What we actually need for today, I would like to walk with you through the whole process from the scratch, from the plain, no project even exists, and step by step create UI. Connect to the processor, to the code, and after that we will modify this project and we'll make some improvements. But again, from one workshop to another workshop, we will add more cool features. Then you will be able to do some fantastic project which you already saw in our demos, for example. Okay, what we need. If you have a control system, it's okay. So it will be really helpful. I'm gonna use a simple project. It's nothing, it's just digital input to digital outputs. We use this. Yeah, I'm sorry, I muted someone. We just need to send signal and see the feedback. So it's just in to out, nothing special, and there are no logic, as I remember, at all. Yeah, so just generic. Okay, so next, we loaded this project. Now we need a toolbox. Toolbox we're gonna use. Let me connect. Where is my toolbox? Okay, I connecting back. Okay, so why we do need a toolbox? First of all, it's we need to know what IP ID we're gonna use. So it's the same 1991, and we need a command web socket token. Oh, I'm sorry. Web correct? Yes. So why do we need this WebSocket token? It's allow to our project connect to the control system or in real time during the development process, or after we compile the project and we would like to make X web panel connection. So it's in case when we do not use the Crestron one. I hope it makes sense. Where are we going to put this? So first of all, we have to create as a project. And let's say workshop day one. Okay, someone getting late. Okay. So we created the project. Next, when we go inside the project, probably you already know that we have a project settings. So we go in project settings. What we could do here, I move a little bit straight to the control system and where we have a connection options. Here we set up our IP address of our processor and IP ID, what we're gonna use. And here is the authentication token, what we gonna use. So actually it's this one. So now when we save this project, we will be able to connect to the control system in real time. So it's allow us to send command and see the feedback. What else you need to know? I hope you also following me, and if you have your own environment, you're doing the same. So this is our goal. And if I a little bit interrupt, just say, hey, Vadim, stop. Let me finish on ask some clarification, please.
Where was that project settings?
I'm sorry?
Where was the project settings located?
Okay, so project settings, how we get there? So we created, when we go inside the project, you see this hamburger, yeah? And here we have a project settings. Okay, inside the project settings, if you participated in the recent webinar, I mentioned about the environments and how it might be useful for you. So let's say the default is default, but we also will need a second environment. For example, when we go on site, or in our case, let's say it will be debugging. Yeah? And debugging, in our case, we just gonna enable a console. On the webinar, I showed you what is the console is. So it's built into the project console, which show up like a button on the touch panel, and you can press this button or move this button if it's do not or interference with your elements on the page, but it give you all like a signals, strings, data through your project. All actions you're pressing, you will see in console. So it's really useful in TSW, TS touch panels, I mean, so where you don't actually have any debug interface. I will show you here in the live preview. Okay, so now we have one default, and second, only one difference, we enabled console. So what else we need? Here, as you can see, you can change these settings. For example, you can use the same IP ID. I'm sorry, use the same IP address, but change IP ID. For example, you would like to connect to the different IP ID for some reason, or two different rooms, you name it. You can use the different dataset options. We will do this next few workshops. We will connect to the real data sources. I will dive a little bit deep. Igor will connect also to our workshop, and we will dive deep and we'll show you how actually you will be able to create a huge project, and your interface will just read this data and adopt to the kind of backend. Okay, so now default and debugging. So we created this. Let's return back. So we're gonna start from the new project, new page. So the main page, it's actually what we need, and we're gonna call it really like a main page. So new feature is adaptive. I'm not gonna focus in adaptive right now for the main page at least, because in our opinion, the nice fancy user interface is possible only when you use a real true responsive. When you change the resolution, and it will automatically adopt to this resolution. It means that you can create one project and load to the TSW, to the iPad, to the iPhone, and it will be the same project. Okay, main page, responsive. Next, when we open this, I pressed edit if you didn't follow, edit the page. So what we have is something what usually placed in the center. And to make it so responsive, you usually need some static kind of containers, like footer, header, maybe on the left and right side, and we will add them also as well. But right now, since we just create connection to the control system, I want to show you what's gonna happen when you press the button connection, and what issue you might be facing and how to solve this issue. Okay, so right now here you see the console. I'm gonna open just to have idea on the right side. And now I press the disconnect, connect. Unfortunately, right now it's connected. But keep in mind, sometimes when you do not work with the control system, maybe day, two, three, I don't know. It really depends on probably web browser. Sometimes your control system might even forget you. So as workaround, it just open. So just go and pass this security. 92. So you just need to open your processor.
You forget the dot.
Thank you. Yeah, so you just need to open your control system in the separate browser and go to this window. You open this window, close, and now you can connect without any issues. Is it works for you if someone follow me or you have issues?
That just seems like a typical type of Crestron thing to do. So,
Yeah. Oh, guys, so let me just give idea why it's happening and all these issues and workarounds why we actually use only because it's happened, I don't know, maybe 5, 10 years ago. So when the whole world decided, hey, we have to be more secure, we have to use a HTTPS, we have to WebSocket secure and interactive. So everything about the security. And this is kind of good. But problem is that in this case, you have to have a true signed certificate for each device. Trusted certificate, I mean. So you have to request from the certificate authority for your organization, for example, certificate, create maybe your own authority, and after that, create certificate for each device in the network. For me personally, it sounds a little bit crazy, but this is what we really thinking about, and I hope next couple months, maybe at the in the first of the quarter of next year, we will bring one idea where we're gonna solve this issue. Okay, so I hope everyone gets this connection. Now we
What was the simple Windows program somewhere that we could load to our own processors?
it's really yes. If you would like, I can share right now. This. Let me just. Sorry. Where is it? Okay. It's really simple program, nothing special. But since you asking me, okay. Let me share. Yeah. I forget where I put this. Okay, I'm gonna share. I will try. If I put here in chat, it's gonna work. Yes, it works. Okay.
Thank you.
In the chat, you can find the archive with this fantastic Simple Plus program. Okay, let's move forward. So I'm just gonna add one button on this page. What this button gonna do? We just wanna press this button. It's called actions. So we allow programmers to add as many actions as you want. So you can add, for example, digital join, or like in our case, it's gonna be join number 1. By the way, sometimes we got a question, can we use names here? Yes, you do. So, I mean, if you ever used contract, don't mistake it with construct. Crestron contract, you remember, it's a separate utility where you actually can create your own objects, I believe. So it's create kind of huge JSON file which you actually compile and you can import to the simple Windows or C# program. Okay, in our case, I'm gonna add a new button. It will be tab. I'm gonna name tab digital. Again, it's not necessary, but it's only for you, and it's useful because you will have a few, for example, actions. And second action, okay, I don't know, let's select what we would like to have, serial. And let's also send to serial number 1 and any value, okay. Button 1 pressed. Okay. Now, since we connected to the processor, we can switch to the preview. And now we have this window. And when we press a button on the console on the right side, you see it was sent a digital join number 1 with a true. It was a tap action. And also it's executed serial and set value button number 1 pressed. So, and as you can see, the last one is a digital one, value false. It's only because we pressed released. If you would like, I can show maybe like a debugger, just to be sure that everything what I just showed is really working. Again, when we said with AVstudio, you able to save up to 80%, you have to realize where we actually choose these numbers. Most of these numbers, first of all, it's only because we save time on debugging. And debugging can take maybe half of your time, you know, and rest time you'll figure out then. Okay, I press the button and switch back to the toolbox. Okay, you see digital number 1 pressed, a number serial set to 1, and we have back to the low. So I think it doesn't make sense for us to use debugger anymore because we want to be more efficient, and I hide this toolbox. Okay, next. Let's name this button and just to recognize, because next step we can switch back to the editor and we just can clone this button or create few buttons. When we create them, we actually just need to change action, different name, and instructor. Okay, I will keep only one, just like idea for this, and here you go, and we set action, it will tap. Okay, let's do action, let's say number 2. Oh, let's do something different. One button will set, let's do one button will set number 1 to high, and this will set to false. So this is gonna be set 1 to true, and this one gonna set to send. And serial will change to what? To number 2. Okay, now we switch to preview. We pressed, oh, that's clear console. We pressed it's 1, fire it to true, and you see no false, because it's only true. Now we press true, now it's fired true. Okay, where and how we can use? Oh, yes, and text. Let's also add to this text. And for this element, we can add a serial which we actually use, number 1. So now when we switch to preview, we press 1, you see feedback, it's 1. We pressed true, it's true. I hope everyone following me, yeah? Okay, next, what we can do? Next, we can, we need feedback. We really need a feedback, true feedback. So we have a pressed signal, maybe not really correct name. You will understand why really a little bit later. I don't want to tell about this, but yeah, just keep in mind, this is number 1. So because digital drawing is number 1. And the same we have for, again, digital 1, because we want a feedback. Switch to preview, press 1, both is high. Press button 2, both is low. Next, since, like I mentioned, we would like to have and to be more efficient, and since we're creating a progressive interface, yeah, so let's add a few global containers. So one is gonna be header, and second one is gonna be footer. And by default, it will be in bottom. So what we have in global container, they will be appeared on all pages by default, and will always stay there until you would like to hide them somewhere on some pages, or vice versa, you would like to different action for them. We will do it a little bit later, but right now we just created. So footer for both orientation, like horizontal and portrait, it will be on bottom, and header on the top. Okay, and visible by default. When we return back to the main page, now we see global container on the top and another on the footer. So what I would like to do is just take this element and move somewhere else, just to hide. Now when we switch to preview, we have it's always located there. Next, so we created 2 separate buttons, but what else we would like to have something more complicated? For example, we would like to have some area where we will have a text and we will have a button at the same time. So what we can do in this case, I would like to use as sub pages. So, and sub pages, in our product, it's the most popular and most powerful feature what you ever probably seen, because you can use sub pages as nested to one to another one. It's not necessary since we have adaptive design pages, but actually if it's necessary, just keep in mind, you can put even like 5 sub pages nested to each other. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a sub page. I will call it, I don't know, no idea. I'm sorry, it's gonna be adaptive. And I'm gonna go to edit. So what we have here, it's a size of this page, 200 by 200 by default. And I would like to copy this button. So when you press the right button, so you see it's kind of helped for you. So you press Command C or Control C, depends what you have. And here you can paste this button. So we have that button from the main page right here. And now, since I don't really like this button to have here, I would like to delete them. And instead of them, I would like to add new element, which we call a sub page. In this sub page, we're gonna select sub page name with no idea. We can use it as a single element, which allow us, for example, create, I would say, remote control for the, I don't know, Apple TV. So you actually need only one subpage, and this subpage can have a few buttons here, yeah. So, and here you go. So all of them are here. But what we also can do, we can create subpage as a list. So we select the same subpage, but we set it is a list. So, okay, and I'm sorry, and here we can select a number of items in a static mode or dynamic. Dynamic, I don't want to touch today. So next workshops in 2 weeks, maybe next workshop. So we will dive deep and we will show you how to use dynamic with the JSON and tractor. But right now we're gonna use only like a two subpages. And let me remove the one each is static because we don't need this. So now we have a two exactly looks like the same. Let's make them a little bit more pretty. I don't know if it will be pretty. Oh, I told that we're gonna use a text, like a name. This, yeah. So it will be like this, and we probably let's do two buttons. One will be menu and menu. Okay. I'm sorry. This is, by the way, a question about the adaptive and responsive design. As you can see, I have to find the place where to actually put these buttons. In responsive design, I would probably never care about this. But with the responsive design, it will be a little bit different approach. And this is a good idea to show you the same what I will do in responsive. Thank you for idea. Okay, so let's say this button will be on. And next button is gonna be off. Actually, what is this? And since this is subpage, we would like to have this data dynamic for the different element. Maybe even not good idea to set up on and off of those. Yeah, but we will start from this. So let's start from the text element. So since it's supposed to be dynamic, we use its like parameter. So we're gonna replace the default text by parameters. So right now we don't have really parameters. We're gonna create them. So text parameter by default is gonna be string. Default, let's just name default. So we create this, we save. Now we have something which is named default. Let's switch back to the main page and we have this as default. How are we going to use this? When we select the subpage list, we have here some properties for this element. We have some kind of major settings, but I would like to select exactly one or two subpage. So, and when we expand the number one in parameters, we can insert any text. For example, let's say room 1. And the same we're gonna do for 2, for example, room 2. So again, the same subpage, but just different parameters. Okay, how we can improve this? Let's say, oh, I believe if we switch here to the preview mode and play with this button, oh yeah, they still fire the same true signal. Okay, let's set for the off a different action, and this action will be false. And now when we switch to preview and we fire off on. So, but what is the problem here? We still have the same join number for the subpage number 1 and subpage number 2. Let's fix it. So we switch back to the subpage, select button on, and go to the actions. And here we have a tab digital. In digital tab, instead of join number, I would recommend to replace this with a dynamic value. So we remove this and set up, press to dynamic value. And here we have a subpage parameters. Now we create a new one, and let's say button 1 join. Okay, and it will be also the string, because you remember, so we can name it or use as number. So button 1 join. Okay, and now we save it, select button off, and let's fix the same for the action. Instead of static, we will replace to parameter. Here we able to select, since we already created this parameter, we just select this button number join and save. Now when we go to the preview, it's not probably, it won't work because we don't have any data here. So as you can see, we press button, but nothing actually working, except like a serial. So what we're gonna do next? Switch back to editor, open subpage list, go to this parameter settings, open number 1, like room number 1, and here we can select join number 1. And for room number 2, let's select number 2. Now when we switch to preview, we have, oh, I know why, because we still have the same feedback. Switch back to the subpage, go to the button number 1, and where we have the state, instead of fixed digital join number, let's select parameter button 1 join. The same we're gonna do for the second button, which is off. Now we go to the preview mode, and now we have off, on for room number 1, on, off, independent for room number 2. I hope it makes sense. Any questions about this maybe?
Real basic question. Just in the subpage, I've added buttons, but I can't move it anywhere except it being aligned center. So like you've moved the on and off down to the bottom and separated them, but my button is stuck in the center and won't move anywhere.
Excellent. This is because you are in responsive mode. And if you don't mind, I'm gonna repeat the same, everything the same, but instead of use adaptive mode for subpage, I would like to use responsive, and you will see it is actually a little bit different approach. Okay. And you will figure out. Nice question. It's yeah. So okay, let's just save project, and now I would like to create new subpage. Let's name like a no idea, but it's gonna be no idea is responsive. Okay, so now when we go inside this page, as you can see, it's opened like a full screen. This is probably what you have in your project as well. Yeah, so, and let me also, maybe I didn't even show you so much about the responsive, but what is cool in responsive, and you have to figure out, you created few elements, you don't really care where you put them, you just drag and drop them. So, and they should find the place on the page. And when you use alignment, so you see you have like a setting how to distribute this element. This actually what helps you to create really good looks UIs without pointing at exact location each element. Okay, let's
Is this like Flexbox grid?
I would say kind of like Flex, yes. So yeah, probably. Yeah. So okay, let's me return back to the empty page. So what I gonna do here, I promise you that I have to show is a different approach. And here I would like to create a second subpage list next to this one, but I will select a no idea responsive as list, and it's also will have true elements. Yeah, true elements. And let me put them to each other. So we, yeah. So now we have two subpages. One is adaptive, one is responsive. If you would like, I can rename. Maybe it will give more idea. And by the way, maybe a good also idea, I will share this project after we complete.
Perfect.
Okay, so what I would like to do, I would like to copy these elements, do not create them from scratch. Command C, Command V. I go back, Command C. Oops, I'm sorry. Command V, and the same the last one. Command C and Command V. Okay, so probably what you had the same case. So, and it looks like this.
Yep.
So what we can do in this case, we need to divide this. Okay, I'm gonna close this adaptive and leave only this. So first of all, we need to kind of make layout. In our case, it's we can create a separate container and put these containers, divide them horizontally. So, and move buttons like here. So when we switch back to the main,
Yep.
Okay, it's not looks like exactly like this, but let's try to fix it. Yeah. So it's not this element. Oops. No. I'm sorry. This is. So we have to find. Oh, okay. This is the first. Yeah, what we have to do, and we have to make the size of this subpage. Let's find where it's supposed to be. So we have a size and parent subpage with the page after.
Oh, may I help you?
Oh yes, please. Yeah, because
I know how. So open the main page, and you should open the list container properties down here. And force children fill list width and height. Yeah, right there.
Thank you, sir.
There we go.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah. So I'm okay. So this is we just switch to percentage, and yeah, it will be.
That's too much.
No, it's too much. Yeah. So let's. Oh. Yeah, it's about like this, but yeah, so it's okay. Thank you. Yeah, this is what I also always, I'm sorry, forget. Yeah, but again, it still doesn't looks like it's supposed to be, and let's fix it. So in our case, each container can has own alignment. So in this alignment, we switch like this. Switch back. Looks close. Close. Oh, let's set up also parameters the same. It will be helpful for us. It was, oops. Sorry.
But do you have parameters at your subpage?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Thank you for helping. Yeah. So we didn't create this parameter. So let's just. Oh, I had to show parameter. I had to show where you also can create this parameter. So it's one approach, but as it was text, I believe. Yes. No, it's not text. Ah, bad. Okay, let's create string text. Okay, let's just name it text. So also the second, and I forget, subpage parameters. So in subpage, we have subpage parameters, and here we have them. So let me remove this number. Sorry, I forget to select the type, and default value, let's okay, so it's gonna, oh, okay, I enabled to change this for some reason, but good point. Very interesting. Why? Let's just do it a little bit different. I'm gonna create this text parameter here, string text. Okay, so we have a default text, which is actually selected here. Yeah. Okay, and next, and we would like to align this button and spread them between or around. I don't know what is better. Looks like maybe like around. So now when we switch back, we have this button. Oh, we had to name, and we should name parameter room 1 in view. And let's name second room 2. Oops. Room 2 in responsive. Okay. So the same we're gonna do for the on and off buttons. Yeah, so because they're not gonna work still now. So for on button, we should be sure we have a button join number, yeah, which we actually gonna create. Can we create like this? I believe. Is it possible? Let's see. Okay. And also, I believe that's it. Let's see if we can do parameters. If I'm not mistaken, number 1 we use here, and number 2 probably here. And let's go to preview mode. Okay, so yes, it's working here and it's working here. But as you can see, it's a little bit different approach.
Yep.
What is better, I don't know until we will switch to the live preview. If you don't mind, I would like to switch project to live preview. You remember, so I also showed you what's this. So we can select our default environment or select debug. I'm gonna start from default, and it will be point where I'll show you the console. Okay, it's connected to the real system. Okay, so we have on, off, depends what you would like and where, press it, looks the same. Now, responsive. So I'm gonna press F12, and this is probably the best way to see what's going on inside. Yeah. By the way, if you would like to see performance sometimes or slow down your project before load to some devices, you can use performance in Google Chrome. Okay, so we have a console on the side. It's actually a console from the Google Chrome, but it's the same, pretty similar to what we use in AVstudio. So on the top, you can select your dimension of your equipment. So it's iPad. We can switch to, let's go, where is the iPhone 14? Okay, so, and you see how it looks like it's a little bit squeezed, but now we can rotate and see it looks both okay. But where is gonna work the responsive itself? In sometimes when we really squeeze,
Yep.
so you see it's height, but your responsive subpage is actually still responsive.
Very cool.
Yeah, so like I said, so it's possible to create for any case really you need like I mean to predict each action, but anyway, so we really limit it and we assume that we're gonna use some minimum or some maximum. And in our case, as you can see, so we hide half a button, but responsive buttons is still here. Let's swap them. To swap them, you remember, so live preview is actually live. I put responsive on the left and adapt to there. And you see, it's switched. So also, guys, live preview is the best option. It's open in a separate window. If you have a couple displays, I'm pretty sure you have. And put its, let me close this console. Okay, so when you open like this, oops, make it, yeah. Okay, so just imagine you put it side by side and you want to create, and let's change this button put here. You see, so button moved. When we remove back, it's moved back, or I don't know, let's put text between, text between. So live preview, it's really cool functionality. Maybe you will have as a question, what is the difference between the live preview and preview here? So in preview in editor, it's just one page editor. So you unable to really switch to another page. So you will stay on this page always. So if you go, if you opened this page and you would like to preview, you just switch preview and you see how it's working. But in live preview, you actually can press the button and switch to another page. And this is, let's do this. So I'm gonna leave it behind and let's create something. What we can create? Let's add a button, maybe home. And it's just to return anytime back. And we can select the type. If you remember, I mentioned we have a different type here. So, and flip page, I'm sorry. Oh, no. Oh, routing flip page, yeah. So, and here we can select, we can select exact page or go to the start page. So what is the difference? You will figure out again. So start page we set up on the project and we can change. But more what is makes sense, it's start to setup page. So we create this action. It means that when we press this button, we will return back. And let's go and set icon. Okay, about the icons. we have in the library, I'm not really sure right now, but more than 6,000, 8,000 icons. Maybe some of you already use it and know how many icons we have, but plenty. And let's use home. I don't know. Let's do like this. You like it? Yeah, we like. I would say let's remove text. And we have to create it a little bit much bigger, and we will play. So we have a text size inner corner, padding control, and icon size. Now let's find the right. Oh, 200 too much. That's. I'm sorry. Let's do 50-ish. Yeah, 50. Okay. Next, what we can do. For example, let's do when let's create another page. Call it second page. Second page. So, and on this second page, just name it. Second page. Okay, so now, for example, when we press button on, we can switch to the second page. We're gonna open subpage, open actions, and inside the action we can add flip page and select second page. So it means that every time when we press button on, we will switch some artifacts. We will switch to the second page. Let's go. Oh, I want to show you. So if I switch to preview and press on, so actually nothing happening. But when we go to our live preview and press on, we switch to the second page. Press home, return back. I hope it makes sense, the difference between preview in editor and preview in the live preview. And again, who have experience to work with VTPro? I'm pretty sure everyone. So we know to see our touch panel in action, we need to compile. We need to probably load to the touch panel. If we lucky, we're able to use X web panel or X panel on the computer. Okay, what next we can do with this? Let's put a name of the current page in the header. So right now we have a text what we actually send to the control system. And this control system return us back the name what is located there. Inside the AVstudio, we have variables. It's really powerful to use them because usually you just need to keep data locally, temporary, and current subpage name, or it's maybe, yeah, it's pretty useful to use it. Okay, let's create a string, name it current. Oh, I already use current page. Name is default. Again, we can set this value from the control system when we use the serial signal. For example, we can use like a serial number 1, and we will get it from the control system, but not our case, so we don't need this. Okay, so we just create a variable current page. We created this, and that's it. Okay, what next? Next, let's return back to the header. We have our text, and we will replace from the serial feedback. We're going to remove this, and instead of this, we will use variables string, and here we select the current page. So right now we broke everything what we had before, because before we could press different buttons and so we press these different buttons and then change the name. So now what we have to do, it's set up what actually where we locate it. So on the main page, or we switch to the second page. In this case, I would say we have a page action. What we can do, so we can use this and trigger on load or on exit. So in our case, manual, I will touch a little bit later. On load, so what we're gonna do on load, we set the variable, select the variable current page, and same, it's a main page. The same, when we go to the second page, we have to create the similar on load. We set the variable, we select our variable, and we call this second. Now let's switch to live preview. So what we have in the header, second page, we have, when we press the home button, main page on the top. I hope it just makes sense. Any questions about this? And hope you're following me. Okay. What else we can do with this? So I showed you different approach, how to create different mechanics. What else? Data sources, not gonna touch today. Functions, not gonna touch today. Media gallery, not gonna. We can. So media gallery, you can actually load any image, whatever you want, and you can use the same as a fonts. So very popular questions. Can we use own fonts? Yeah, go ahead. Just select your own font, load, and you will get. We have a footer. In this footer, let's add few more buttons. And I will show you some techniques how to spread these buttons. Maybe some of them are really favorite mine, you know. So for example, the spacer, it's probably the coolest feature. Okay, so we have design of this button, we like it, and let's just clone and change how it looks. So let's create two more. Okay, one we're gonna keep at home. Let's this we create as a volume. So control, it's maybe a good idea. Volume. Let's just put a volume. What else? This maybe like a video or something. Let's do a video camera, doesn't matter. And what else? Guys, okay, lights. Which lights? Okay. Okay. Oh, we need a white one. Okay, this one. So we can create a page for to switch to the video. We can create the page, switch to the light control. And volume, we will create its pop-up window where we have a gauge to control this. Okay, so second page, let's second page rename to the video. Create another page which we will call oh, I forget to name it. Right, and right now it's more than enough. Change the action for these buttons. Oops. It's gonna switch to the video, and next button gonna switch to the light. Okay, so what next? now we can spread this button. So use alignment. And maybe like this. Or maybe like this. For me personally, I would like to have 3 buttons on the left side and separate last one for the volume control on the right side. I would say I will keep like this, but I would like to add element which we call a spacer. And this spacer allow us to put between and change the size of this spacer. Let's do a percentage. Okay, 100%. That sounds like this. It doesn't really matter, but this is what we can do. I hope it makes sense how this spacer works. If we would like to...
That's a really good idea.
Yes. This is probably a second element what we created in AVstudio. Okay, so and let's add another spacer, just like idea between oh, sorry, let's move here, and yeah, we can set like a 10%. It will be like this. Okay, so we can stop this like a 90. This doesn't really matter, but they will try to find the right space. Let's see how it looks like in live preview. So this is the live preview. So as you can see, we changed the size of our touch panel. Let's do iPad Pro. It's adapt to this. We rotate, it's adapt to this size resolution. So, for example, we go to the iPhone. It's still there, you see, so it still finds the right place. So, and we see it's kind of space between first and second button and between the last and previous one. The same, we rotate and it's adapt. So this is the power. Okay, let's return back, switch to where? Oh, responsive. The same. When we do responsive, yeah, it will squeeze right now. But the good news, a little bit later, I hope by the end of the series of our workshops, we will add page modes, which allows you to react on different actions. I mean actions the same like a resolution. So when you pass, for example, some size, it will recall a different mode. Right now, modes we have for the separate elements. Okay, let's return back. So we created these pages, that pages, so they are switching. Oh, and we forget to add an actions. By the way, about the actions, we also were able to set up these actions, I mean like a name, to the buttons and set variables from the buttons as well. I hope you what I mean. So we select a button and we set variables. And here we select variables what we would like to do. Video. So we set up a name from the button, not only from the page action when it's loaded, but we also can set up from the button. In my opinion, it makes sense to keep consistency and have it to load on the page load. So then this is what we're gonna do. Here we go to the page actions, and here we also set variables. It will be video, and next we will have a light. Where is the light? Yeah, light. The same unload. variable current lights. Boom. So testing switch, it's working. What else? We were in the mood to have pop-up window. Not okay. Let me disable. First of all, let me disable this action. Use for this button. Let me delete this action because we don't use this. So and now, so actually, when we press the volume button, we would like to have a pop-up. Let's create a subpage, and we will recall this subpage. So this subpage, again, adaptive responsive. It's up to you. Maybe adaptive. In this case, it will have more sense. Okay. Pop-up. Oops, not volume. Volume. Pop-up volume, and in this pop-up volume, let's change a little bit size. We like to have it 150 maybe and 300 like this. Okay, and add a slider. Oops. So slider, and we should rotate this slider. Let's do button vertical slider. Okay, so we rotate this. I don't know if we would like to change design. We don't really care, and let's just in case add a button which we call a mute. Put this button here and mute, just mute. Okay, we close and switch back to any page where we have this pop-up. Oh, any page where we have this global container. So we select this volume button, select action, add button action, and let's find here open overlay. And now we attach subpage. So actually what we're gonna do is attach pop-up volume here. Great, let's see what is happening. We press the button, it's appeared here. We can control, we can close. Press anywhere except like elements, it will close this pop-up. Okay, what else? What else? We can play with some settings of this. For example, we would like to make some blue. Let's see. Maybe to create this blue, it makes sense to switch back to home. Okay. So you see, it's kind of the blue, and we can play with this. Not really noticeable. Very interesting. Ground element blue. Oh, no, it's working, but it's not work. Oh, yeah, because we already fired it. Okay, so yeah, so here we have to press again and recall, but you can see, so we change the settings, we recall again. Yeah, so this is maybe what doesn't really work as expected. I mean, not really online. I'm sorry. But what I would like to tell you, try to use on the slow panels not really too much filters and blurring. I mean, Crestron touch panels, they are really not such powerful for such visual effects. Just be aware about this. So it's a little bit making them slow. Okay, what next? So we add this button. If you would like, so we can work with some different settings or set up, for example, a timer when you would like to close this and track them. So maybe some borders. By the way, I know some people, no, it's not really noticeable here, but it will be noticeable. I will show you this about the border radius in different little bit places. Again, so we create a volume button about the page design subpage. Okay, let me show you something else since I look at this. So you see we have a border, and in this border we can create some interesting kind of design. And if you look at this, so it's solid dashed. Oh, sorry, I forget. Yeah, so as you can see, so we can change design. So this is the bottom, and let's do on this side. So, and if you would like, you can create kind of this button. Some people like it, so we got requests that people would like to see this. Why not? Oops. Let me disable the flip page here. Which one is routing? Okay, by the way, if you see the letters, so we're trying to make it more sense. So it's like a digital serial, and before I remove the routing, it was R. So a bit, yeah, so you can play with the design of this. What else you can do with design? I would say it makes sense maybe to play by yourself, but sometimes people really like to have a reflection. And let me add this reflection somewhere, maybe like to the bottom. Bottom, not really, so we have to extend it. Okay, let me add here, design, reflect. Okay, so it's looks pretty interesting. Or let me, instead of here, let's add this page itself, for example, for this button. So and now you can a little bit play with this, that offset, and you like it, so why not? It's looks good. Okay, any questions about this or anything else? If no, let's move forward. Okay, let's work on the video page. So on the video page, what we can do, we can create a list of the sources. And since we already know how to create it, we just create a sub page. It will be responsive. And let's say we call sub, I like sub source. So we don't really care about the source, it's video or audio, it's just a source. And this source, let's just for now create any button and name it as, we know it's gonna be as parameter, and we create parameter and source name. So we have a source name. Next, on the video page, we just add subpage list. Select sub source as list. And now we can create, I don't know, 2, 3, and let's put them Yeah, these container properties. I'm sorry. Okay, so yes, so we create this subpage list for this subpage itself. Let's do something like this icon. So we can create dynamic icons. So if we know the name of this icon, so we can create again parameter and let's use button icon name. Okay, it's and default, I don't know, something. It's not available, but at least we tried. So now we can feed this parameter down from these parameters. So source name for the first, it will be, let's say, I don't know, PC. And I'm not really sure if we have icon PC, not we don't. And we have to find the correct icon. How to find the correct icon? This is my approach. I just want to create another one, use manual, and let's find here PC. And probably not good name, maybe computer. Yeah, let's use computer name. Oops. Ah, okay, so we don't have a way to copy this. RI computer line. Oh, yes. Okay, what the next? Oh, no. RI computer line. Yes, so it's working for the first. Give me the second idea what we can use for the second. Do we have FA Apple? Okay, FA Apple works as well. Second one. FA Apple. Okay, it works. And last one. Guys, give me an idea, please. What else? What else?
Just hit movie maybe or video or something like these.
Laptop.
Oh, it's to movie. Okay, FA Amazon. Okay, it will be nice. FA Amazon. Let's trust. Okay, and let me remove this our test button. Yes, so what we got right now, so we have all icons. We can name them. For example, this is PC, we good. The second one is gonna be MacBook, for example, and the last one, or the stick, I don't know what people name it. Okay, next, next, let's work with this maybe size. What else we set up size for them? Not good. Yeah, because it's okay. I see what is this. So we need to Igor jump on. I again forget.
Okay. First you should set up a size of a whole list and %, I think.
You mean okay?
80%, for example. Hit the list. 80%. Okay, nice. Then go down and list container properties.
And force.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, thank you. Yeah. This is how often we see how often someone works. I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, we have this fire sticks, maybe not really good looks good. So what we can improve here? Maybe makes sense to move name of this to the different element and put below and set parameter button source name and okay, and here in the button let's just remove text at all and let's see how it looks like. Okay, so for me it looks a little bit much better, but it's still not enough because icon size it's too small. Okay, let's change icon size. Oh, about the design, and maybe makes sense to remove like a button style at all, and it is gonna be a ghost. So yeah, for me it looks much better, but we need to increase icon size, and icon size it will be in icon size. I forget which we used before, maybe 50. Yeah, 50 at least it looks okay. Let's switch to the live preview, switch to the button, and now this is how it looks like. So when we go to the kind of similar, I mean like iPad, let's use iPad mini maybe, iPad mini. So for me it looks pretty good. And I hope you also like it. And now we can press any, so we can assign actions and select. Again, about the actions, what we can do here. What we can do here, for example, we can assign additional action to each element, which actually also works. So we can push kind of any type of signal. And since we're talking about the source, we really don't know, or we might have 1,000 of sources. I personally prefer to use analog, and it's really flexible, yeah. And for example, we will use now a digital drawing number 1 and number 100, source number 100, and the same. It's not efficient. It's not efficient. We're talking about efficiency. So it means that we have to be more lazy. Let's just assign to this button, analog, execute to signal number 1, and value we will take again from parameters. And let's name it source ID. Number, save. Okay, so in this case, we just, what we can do, it's stop the same in parameter source ID. 100 for this, 200 for this, for example, and 300 here. So now when we go here and press these buttons, so you see in the console on the right side, you also see how it sends to analog number 1 different value. So where it's actually useful, cross points. So Execute crosspoint, and your control system will connect your UI, your digital numbers, directly to that source. If it's case, sometimes it's not really necessary to do in this case. So you can have a list of join numbers for different sources, but it's more about the dynamic. So like I said, so a little bit later, I'll show a different approach when you use data sources, and it will have more sense. Okay, what else? So we select, we send, it's kind of works. Maybe makes sense to create a page for each of them. Let's do it. So it will be easier to start. Oh, by the way, I forget to show you about the live preview in with the console. So I mentioned that I'll show you, but I forget to show you. Okay, let me close this whole page because it's so many. So you see here in the live, we can switch to the different environment. And now when we go to the live preview, just imagine this is your TSW touch panel. And this is console.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which will be opened. So, and this button I mentioned, you can move if it's appeared somewhere on your elements. So you press its height. You see like on the volume button, so you actually can move. And what it allowed to do. So I would like to execute few commands and now open console, and you see this signals is here. So not often, but almost each time when we go on site, we have to use this. I don't know why, but it's happening. Sometimes people assume they do everything right, but not always. So I hope you will like it. Okay, let's me return back to the normal mode.
Are you going to show us how to load this to a TSW panel?
How to load? Oh, yes, I do.
I don't want to interrupt you from what you were doing, but I just was wondering if that was going to come up.
Okay, so actually, as I mentioned, and if you remember in simple Windows, so it depends what you're gonna use, xpanel or TSW. For xpanel, we use a project name. I don't see right now. It's here for some reason. Okay, so no, forget about. We don't need this. So we just set up build. We press the build button. We have to activate this build. Yeah, I'm sorry.
let me activate it for you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, so and again, he will do this, and it's gonna create. It's gonna
No,
create.
you should update your page first.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Now it works.
Okay, so I just select again. I can select an environment and press build. What I forget to do, guys, for you, just send you a code to activate this with 100% discount. So I will do this. Igor will help to provide this code.
Okay.
Yes. So
Thank you.
yeah, put in the chat, please, Igor. Yeah. So okay. So we got this ch5z file. We just download. Once we download this file, what we can do, it's open touch panel itself. Well, maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe I'm. Yes, it it is. Okay, so on the touch panel itself, we have a load project. Oh, okay, I see why. Because we have to switch. We have to switch here. So you see, so we used our URL to use a remote project, but actually what we have to do is switch to Crestron default. Yeah, or put your project remotely on your web server. Let's.
I was going to ask, so you can load the live preview by just using the Crestron general web?
Yes and no. Here will be the problem. So once a session will expire,
Yep.
so it will ask you credentials again. But what you can do, you can put this zip file. It's actually it's archive. So you can unzip and put this on the any web hostings.
Yep.
So, and I would say it's maybe even, yeah, so it's, yeah, it makes sense to put because you see, so web hosting will have a true signed certificate. And you won't have these issues what you usually have when you use. And second, guys, if you used, if you got Navigator to our demo, oops, I'm sorry. When you go to the demo page, any of this demo you can connect. So copy link. Where is this demo? Demo project. Okay, so open any of this, yeah, and just open in separate window. You can put this link in your touch panel, and it will open without any authentications. So, and maybe I forget to mention, if you notice here, you have a button which is asking to install app. So if you do this, it will create a progressive web application. It's in case if your customers have Samsung device. It's I'm sorry, Android, any Android. Look at the Samsung. Okay, so if your customer has an Android device, this is a way how to install this application. And it should work. So first time you have to open it, it will be downloaded to the device, and it should work. The same with iOS devices. So try. Again, if you would like Netlify, this is what we use for demo projects. And you can upload your project and open on any devices. Okay, it's still return back. It's still rebooting. Unfortunately, it's really slow. But the same idea when we go to the control system itself. For example, you have iPad. Oh, not good. Uh-oh. Okay.
It's just multimedia without any numbers.
Thank you, sir. Okay. I guess correct. So when we open control system itself, in the settings, we also have the projects. So what we can do, we can add the project, select it's gonna be mobility and web project, for example, and select the file which I just downloaded, my project 1. And I select upload. Okay, error, I assume it's because its name, this doesn't like this name. And let me rename this to something else and try again. So where we can rename this, we open project settings and we go archive name. So, and we said workshop D1, for example. We save it. And now when we press build, it will create a new build. By the way, it's not downloading any files on your computer. So everything compiling on in the cloud. So sometimes people trying to compare construct with AVstudio, and they have advantage with the construct, and I'm okay. So people found it's okay. So and they believe it's offline. But as you know, to make construct working offline, you have to be connected to the internet first and open your project. Press compile first time. It will download about 800 megabytes probably. And after that, you can work. So, and let's imagine you are in the business trip and you are at the hotel, and usually we know so how terrible is the internet in hotel. And you need to download 800 megabytes. Okay, good luck. You can use your mobile phone. I don't know how many projects you can prepare. Okay, I'm sorry. Workshop day 1, I'm gonna download. It's downloaded. Now let's try again to project, mobile project, browse. I forget to select. I'm sorry, I forget to select web project as well. So we selected file, it's uploaded, it's self-unzipped. Now you can use this project for both mobility and web project. And how it's gonna use for this project, if I'm not mistaken, you just open your processor and press HTML, and it's automatically opened your project. So another maybe question, how many projects you can upload? If I am not mistaken, you have some limitations. And for mobility projects, probably it's 3 projects. Can someone help me with these numbers? Yeah, and for web project, I even don't remember if we able to load more than 1. But again, this is our project and it's working. So everything what we did, it's working. So you see it's loaded to the processor, it's alive, and when we press F12 in our browser, so we see all our commands. And just trust me, if we open debugger, we will see the same. Okay, I hope it makes sense. So we have 10 more minutes. Maybe it doesn't make sense to move forward and improve something. Maybe let's little bit talk, maybe some questions right now, or you have some ideas for the next webinar. What exactly you would like to see? Not webinar, I'm sorry, workshop. Yeah. So, but anyway, I would like to continue to work on this project and create from this something what might be useful, like every day. You just adopt, change, and finally we convert this to the template. I hope it will be useful. Sounds good? I hope.
This is great.
Great. Okay. What else? Any questions?
Great,
Uh,
Vadim. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome.
I've got two questions, Vadim.
Yeah.
I see all the beautiful demos on your site. Are any of those possible to import so like we can take a look and see, like I can see what's possible from the screenshots and things, but actually being able to replicate something like you guys have created in this, is it possible to see any of those demos as templates in Studio?
Okay. So yes, some of them already as template available. So Lux Control Suite and Chesterfield Residence already there.
Awesome.
Some of them we still working, and I'm sorry, we just only behind the schedule, not really behind. So we more focusing on the new features, and this is why it will slow down. But from the community, few programmers already working on creating their template, and some of them won't be for free. So this, what available is totally free. I mean, you can clone them and use at least as a start point. But later, for all programmers, we would like to offer to create their own templates and to sell to someone else. Yeah, and I hope everyone will find it's useful. Yeah, because sometimes you can create template which cost $100 or $1,000 or $5,000.
Yep.
And just sell and resell, you know. And it makes sense because let's to be honest. So last couple years, how we actually do programming is really changed. So and now we have to be more efficient. Otherwise, we will go on the market. Okay, good question. Let me show how it works. So when we select templates, we just press any button, clone to my project. So let's say I would say it's a little bit more easy to understand Chesterfield Residence, and I press a clone. It's gonna clone this project. And now you see how it's built inside. I would like to press a live button. It is opening. It's opening. It's opening. Okay, but you see this project. So you have activity selection, audio or video. So you can select any music. Very most common question about the media player. If you
That was my next question.
Okay, so we have a media player widget inside the AVstudio right now, but all data you have to feed from the control system. So the reason why it's impossible to connect directly, again, I always answer SSL certificate. This is most common problem. Second, it's a course. So device, if it even has REST API, It's supposed to support a course, how to say, authentication data, yeah. So what is actually not common for the most of the devices. And last and not least, you still have to keep this session alive. But we already have some microservices. They are not publicly available. We did them for some end users last couple years, and we would like to bring them and make available, and useful. What I mean, first of all, it's a course proxy, which will allow you to connect for some devices which already have REST API, but do not allow you to connect directly from your UI. So we solve this problem. You can find by yourself how to create a course proxy. It's not a big deal. So I'm probably a couple hours and you will get first result. Maybe less. I'm sorry. It depends on experience. From the scratch, like I said, it's maybe like a couple hours. We created this. But since again, we would like to share and give tools for the programmers, we also add the settings which you will be able to send from UI as well, like JSON. So it means like inside the AVstudio, you will create kind of JSON with IP address of equipment which you would like to connect to. For example, a token, maybe you not username, most of the time it's token and tractor, yeah, or keep alive. Why I mentioned about the keep alive? Right now we are working on integration with Autonomic. And the problem we faced, it's, for example, you select media, it's okay, but maybe in a minute, your UI will be disconnected and nobody actually remember where you were before, but you need to return back.
Yep.
So, okay, next a couple months, yeah, we will meet like every 2 weeks. I think will be okay, and we will share a little bit more what we got and what we will share with you. So media player, you will look inside this media player and you will see how it's actually built. It's a lot of subpages. And this project was created only from responsive design. So here's no adaptive at all. Yeah, go ahead, download, create, and track. What else? What else? What else? By the way, the code what Igor shared, keep in mind, so you can activate one time. So, and yeah, be careful what you actually do. So if you activate this for the one of the cloned projects, so it will be there, or activate for your own. So let's return back inside, and I want to just walk through this. We have 1 minute left, maybe some if questions, just interrupt me. So pages, subpages, and this here I would like to show you a lot of variables we use here, a lot, and they make sense. Maybe overkilled, but they really make sense. Yeah. Again, some of them are here only because we created this demo without using a Crestron control system. Next, data sources. When I mentioned that we would like to be more efficient, it means that we create one template and we can reuse this. So this is actually how. Room name, source list, inside the data sources. So in another word, so data sources, it's a list. But right now, this format is a JSON, and I don't see a big problem to generate this JSON or write by yourself. It depends on experience. But again, it's not a big deal. And if you can see here, so in this JSON, we set up a name, friendly name. Yeah, so we set up icon. I'm unable to answer right now what is the icon, but I guess where we got this idea of this number, and it's when you move mouse over your graphics media, so its ID appears there. And control page, so it means control page, what page you have to recall when you press button. So what we did today, we recall a flip page. So instead of put this name statically, we can use this dynamic data. Okay. This pretty much all. If any questions, guys, how do you think? Is it was useful or no? Let me know.
Very useful.
Okay.
Very useful. I agree. I agree.
Guys, thank you so much. First of all, I would like you to get registered to each workshop separately, because what I realized, it generates a new link every time. I don't know why, but it works like this. And yeah, if you have something what you would like me to mention, just let us know. Yeah, so we will prepare this. But next time, I think we will continue to work on this project. And yeah, and we will improve, and we should create something fancy, schmancy. Okay, sounds good. Sounds as a plan.
Thank you very much.
Sounds great. Now I got to go play with it so I know what to ask next time.
Okay, and don't forget, you can clone your project. So one maybe of the most popular, hey, I would like to do something crazy. Okay, just create a clone of this project. So select a setting, clone project, and you will have another copy of this project. So as now you can see, so I have 3 projects. Yeah. So you don't like it, you can delete this project. Yeah. So it will be deleted. So, okay. Thank you so much again for coming and spend your time, and hope to see you next in 2 weeks. It will be October 30th, 31st.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.